something you said before about what you observed with your clients about the lack maybe of finding a safe space
Mm-hmm.
to and you for a time, have not having a safe space
Mm-hmm.
to vent. So we're just like, walking pressure cookers.
Right,
In
right, right.
essence.
Just
Um,
yeah.
yeah, how prevalent is that among women in either managerial or executive positions, that because they are the only one or one of, two, one of like among
Mm,
500 or
mm,
1,000 or whatever,
yeah,
and that they have to lead the 5,000 in the corporation, and she's the only one. It's lonely,
yeah.
and so that issue of having a safe space, is that one of the benefits of having a coach?
Yeah, absolutely. I think not only having a space where, as you said, you can express yourself and you can vent, but
Hmm.
also then having that be a constructive space. Because oftentimes, and a lot of times, even when I'm coaching somebody, once they can process what is going on for them, they kind of have a sense of what the answers are, but they may be stuck. They may be, unable to kind of get to it because right now they've felt so isolated. They haven't felt safe.
Hmm.
So they need to work, they need a space to kind of work through that. And then they need the space to be able to sort of, okay, so what do you want to do, right? What steps do you want to take? What, depending on the problem that we're looking to solve. But when you don't have that, and yeah, like you said, you're walking around and you're sort of just internalizing things and trying to work through them kind of on your own in that isolation, it's just mounting pressure, it's mounting stress, it's mounting burnout. And it often does impact the ability to, again, get out of that survival mode into more of a thriving mode. And I emphasize that because those, again, are two different things.
Now you have the dual, I guess, the benefit of being both a therapist and a leadership coach, which I don't think that that's a common, a combination. And I want to talk just for a moment on just the intersectionality of therapy and coaching, because there are a lot of, we all have our baggage, we all have our stories, and that impacts, I believe, how we show up as leaders. But there, if there are unresolved things, I mean, that requires somebody who's trained, I think, to help us work through that. I mean, can you speak to that, just the intersectionality of both of those?
Sure. So when I am coaching, I'm coaching, and when I'm doing therapy, I'm doing therapy, and keep them separate. But what I will say is that they can really complement each other very well. And so somebody who I might be working with as a coach, and we're really focused on what are their professional goals, what are the current dilemmas that they're facing and challenges that they're facing, and how can we create plans around that. Could and oftentimes really should also be seeing a therapist and working on some of their maybe emotional needs, right, or interpersonal challenges, because in reality you're going to take a lot of those same skills and you're going to bring them with you to the workplace. If you are dealing with stress or burnout, there really can be a component related to secondary trauma, for example. Particularly, we're talking about leaders in the nonprofit space who may be working with communities that are experiencing generational trauma, community-based trauma. And so as a helping professional or in the nonprofit organization, you're also exposed to that. And you're leading your teams, and your teams may be dealing with their own issues, right? So I think the intersection is that the same person can benefit from both, and that they can actually, the work that you do in both spaces can be very complementary, right? Certainly feeling satisfied professionally is also going to support you feeling more satisfied personally.
Yeah. What are